Business is so simple, and on this week's episode of Unfinished Business, I take 10 business owners and teach them how to become multi-millionaires. Alongside that, we are expanding at Trade Mastermind HQ. We are taking all of those offices and all of those offices with a big growth strategy happening, over 10,000 square feet of new offices and 100 new hires. We're putting our money where our mouth is, making 2025 the best year ever. I want you to watch this episode and get inspired on how a big thinking entrepreneur does business. My name's Joseph Valente and this is episode 71 of Unfinished Business.
Like how you hit the million a month.
Yeah, $1 million a month. We've been consistent on $1 million a month now since about August.
Yeah.
But what I'm really focusing on this year is retention. So the decision is about how aggressive I want to grow now over the next few years. But the key is to get that LTV of customer up on the training.
Yeah.
So we're now doing a 3-year program that's about to go live in February. So on these consultations, they'll no longer be pitching a 12-month course. It'll be a 3-year course.
Right.
So there'll be 2 aspects to our business: the training timeline and then the services timeline to underpin the training.
Yeah.
So I see the TGS services as being a 20-year investment for the company. So they'll be a game changer. So I recently launched this. And so it's called Trade Group Services. So for $997 a month, they get access to unlimited recruitment for gas and engineers, admin staff. They get their payroll, accounts, and year-end accounts done. They get access to Trade Portal and they get access to design. So the whole point of Trade Group Services is to give the business a one-stop shop, fixed monthly payment to access every service they need. So for $1,000 a month, you place one gas engineer on 15%, they're paying nearly $9,000 for that placement, whereas they get unlimited recruitment for $997 a month. So it'd be a recurring revenue business that has access to all these services. Brilliant for retention. And it's going to save them about 80% of what they would spend if they bought all the services independently.
No, that makes complete sense, because once they've been through the training program, then what? So
I think the biggest challenge that we see is they go into a training program and we're like, right, you need leads, you need a CRM, you need people. So the blueprint's just one thing, but if they don't have the services to execute on the timeline, then they never get the results. So, but if they had to go and buy all of these things independently, then they can't afford to do it. So it's kind of chicken and egg scenario.
My marketing company, we're building websites, doing SEO, doing pay-per-click, social media, all that type of stuff. And we're actually finding that quite a lot, where a customer will sign up for 2 or 3 years initially, but they get such good results. In 6 months or a year's time, they said, actually, we don't need to spend the amount of money. So our customers there are probably bigger contractors, house builders, home improvement companies, probably 2 million and above, and building product suppliers, so boilers, roofing suppliers, all that type of stuff. But when they hit that point where they are busy, then they don't want it.
They want to spend money.
So that's the constant dilemma, isn't it? And then what you want to do is just encourage them to grow and grow and grow.
So I'm behind the scenes in the boardroom on Unfinished Business today, and for the first time in probably 2 years, I'm going to be leading a training session. In December of 2024, I wanted to put my skills to the test and support some of our most successful companies to get significant growth. And when I use the term significant, I'm talking about adding millions of pounds a year in new sales, not just hundreds of thousands of pounds. Now, these businesses in the majority have worked with us for a couple of years. So they're our most successful clients, having gone from a couple of 100,000 a year to $1 million plus. But none of them are doing more than 3 million as it stands, and I want to help them to multiply those millions, double, triple, quadruple, and see if we can get some of them to 8 in the next 12 to 24 months. So I handpicked the people that I wanted to work with, and we're going to have a fantastic group in this boardroom today on their first session directing them towards some incredible growth. And it's really going to see if, as a business and me as a coach, mentor, and a trainer, can actually take businesses now to the 8-figure level, which I'm excited to do, because as an entrepreneur, my game is always to level myself up. But if you want to be successful and you want to level up, you've got to level other people up too along that journey. So really excited for today. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity to get these businesses to grow. Cool. Well, welcome everyone to the first 7-figure boardroom by Joseph Valente. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. The aim of this boardroom is to get you guys in a position where you can really scale. Yeah, we've proven by working with you to this point, we can add on hundreds of thousands of pounds in revenue. Now it's time to take you to the next level and start adding millions of pounds of revenue. Yeah, that's what you're all here to do today, and that's what I'm going to guide you on. As you know, I've built 2 8-figure businesses now in the last 12 years, and I believe I have built a wealth of knowledge around all of the things that you need to do, alongside understanding all of the pitfalls. Because one of the big parts of growth is understanding what can go wrong, yeah, and making sure that you're not heading into a negative direction. And I'm going to do my utmost to protect you from that by guiding you on what it is that you need to do. So we've got a really nice agenda for today. First and foremost, what we're going to do is go around the room, do a very, very quick intro. Yeah, what's your name if you don't know each other? What does your business do? What's your current turnover? And what level is it that you're looking to get to? We're going to start there. Then I'm going to take you through some entrepreneurial growth stages. As your business grows, there are some common traits, of a scaling business, and there are some challenges that every business comes across. So whenever you find yourself scaling into chaos, it's really nice to know that that's normal, and understanding what I call breakpoints, and how you need to push through these breakpoints will just help better frame up the journey for you, so you're conscious, competent, of what it is that you're walking into. We're going to do a very quick tour of the building. I want to show you what I'm doing here as I take this business from 10 to 25 million in the next 12 months, so you can see how what I am outlaying to you in real time is actually happening around me. Okay, fantastic. So the first place I want to take you all, guys, is upstairs, where we're creating the next level of expansion. So follow me. As you know, when we start to hire people, the one thing we're gonna need is premises. And as we attract great people to come and work for us, we need to have a good working environment for them. So you're going to have to start investing in good offices if you want to get great people to come and work for you. Okay, cool. So one of the first things that we realized that we needed to do this year is expand premises. It was very clear. To double the size of our company, we need to double our workforce. And our business needs to grow predominantly just by hiring salespeople. So we need to double the size of the sales workforce. So what we've done is we've taken on a whole new section of this building, probably about another 2,000 square feet or so, giving us a collective across the business here about 10,000 square feet. Now, the offices were old, they were outdated, they weren't inspiring to walk into. And so I knew that if I wanted to be competitive in the city, that I've got to spend the money on upgrading the offices. Now, one of the big things that you've got to get good at is, as you expand, is how do you do these things effectively without spending cash flow everywhere, And so what I did a deal with the landlord. He's funded, this development. I haven't funded it, right? And what I've got him to do is to put it onto the rent. So what it's meant for me is that I've been able to upgrade our offices, get some of the best in the city when they're completed, and I haven't had to spend a penny to do it. It's going to cost me over the 3-year period that I've done it, but I haven't had to take, if this refurb's probably cost, let's say 100 grand, to do, I haven't had to use that from company cash flow. So what we've got to do as we grow is we've got to be strategic. yeah? And we've got to start to develop the right partnerships, not just with suppliers, wholesalers, but with landlords as well, yeah? So wherever you're working out of, there are plenty of people that maybe have an old workspace that might do it up and include it in the rent. So be smart, yeah? Because the one thing that I like to do is keep as much cash in the company as possible. I don't spend unnecessarily, but I do invest. I just do it strategically. So nice glass offices, all open planned. Yeah, we're going to have the whole team up here. We should have about 80 people across this area of the business as we scale up and grow. And we started with just one little section over there in the corner. That was where the first office was. And it just so happened that these offices became available. And so I jumped at taking them. I built a really good relationship with the landlord over the last few years and done a fantastic deal to take the space that he had empty. Yeah? So it worked for him and it worked for me. This side's predominantly going to be customer accounts. And this side, I'm going to get as many salespeople as I can possibly squeeze in there. Yeah. By the end of March, I want 50 people on the phones all day, every day, relentless, yeah, calling the marketplace, filling out our events. That's where our growth is. And for many of you, that is where your growth will be too. So if we go this way, and it's not super glamorous, yeah, but you can see the size of the sales force that we're starting to build. Okay, these guys are currently in this temp office. We're going to be expanding over to here too, yeah. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. You well? Yeah, fantastic. I'm good. Come in.
It's nice actually some windows.
Come in. Okay, so who here, yeah, with the guys that we've got has to have appointments being set? Yeah? Most of us, yeah, in the role that we're currently managing. Yeah, so this is what you need to build. A big sales operation, yeah? Filling out your appointments, setting up your opportunities, and then your field sales guys are gonna go out there and close the deals. Whether you're in B2C or B2B, I want you to start thinking at this scale. This room can probably hold, I don't know, about 30 TSAs, telesales agents. Yeah, they're all doing 200 calls a day. What's 200 calls times 30? 6,000 calls a day, yeah? We want to be putting out into the marketplace every single day, and as I said, we're going to be getting to 50 TSAs by the end of March, yeah? That's where the scale comes from. So this operation, yeah, is what you want to start to think about as you scale up, yeah? So as I started to understand that there were stages of growth that came with certain challenges and that there were certain break points within businesses, it really helped me better understand where I was at. Yeah, and these stages here I'm going to talk through in a second will help you to outline where you are, and I'm sure as I did, you're going to be able to start to relate to some of the challenges that come with it. Just as a side note, what I'd like you all to do, if you haven't done it, is read a book called Ready, Fire, Aim, 0 to 100 million. Is there anybody that's listened to that or read that all the way through in this room? Okay, great. Okay, 40%. I've done it probably about 9 times now, and every time I learn something new. Yeah, or it reminds me. It's phenomenal. He articulates these stages better than what it does on this page, but it will really resonate with you to where you're at. Yeah, fantastic book to get your head into who you need to become as a leader. And that's a big part of this as well. It's not just about what's going on in your businesses. What we've got to turn each and every one of you guys into in this room is CEOs. Yeah, that run your companies like CEOs. And for many of you, you've come on a phenomenal growth journey, off the tools to, you know, next mid-level management into sales and now moving into MD mindset. Got to get you into this MD CEO mindset, operating like that individual as your company scales as well. So a lot of this growth is not just in your business, a lot of this growth is within you. Yeah, because as I always say, you will only go as far as you can take the business, yeah? So most of this is all about you. So we'll go through the stages. Survival stage, number 1. Turnover is typically low. often just enough to cover operational costs. This stage might see turnovers in the range from potentially making losses, okay, to modest figures like 10 to 50,000 pounds annually, depending on the size of the business and industry. And in actual fact, that turnover can become a little bit higher than that if you are just breaking even at this stage. But as you grow, this is called the survival stage. Characteristics, it's high risk, primary concern is cash flow, and the business might not be profitable yet. As we move from that stage, we move into the stability stage, okay? We're starting to show consistent growth, which many of you have. We've moved from survival mode to more of a predictable income, yeah? We now have consistent sales that we can rely on, and as long as everything remains the same, that turnover should be there every month, yeah? That's our starting point. That's what we build from. Turnover might range from £50,000 to £500,000. The characteristics, the business begins to break, even or even achieve small profits. Operations become more stable, and there's a focus on building out your customer base. Stage number 3 is your success stage. Turnover. You start to see significant increases in sales, often in the range of 500,000 to several millions of pounds annually. This is where the business will really start to see sustainable profit margins. Yeah? Characteristics. The business is profitable. Growth is the key. More resources are available to help you start to expand, so you can focus on marketing, so you can focus on hiring, and then the company, as many of you are, is going to start to explore new markets or products. And for the guys here, everybody's above £500,000, okay, but you're 500 to several million. In actual fact, that's what a lot of you have said, isn't it? Yeah, you're opening up new markets, you can see new opportunities. That's what's going to get you to the next level of growth. Really, really important one. So the majority of you here are in the success stage, yeah? And as your business expands, opening up new market opportunities, new streams of income inside the organization, in a lot of cases is what's going to help you get there, yeah? There's really 2 ways to scale. You do one thing, which is scale in trade geographically and keep with the same product line. Yeah, so it could be boilers and you want to do, multiple cities, half the country, yeah, or you go national. Or you keep within a certain territory and you launch more products and services within that territory so you can generate more leads and more opportunities. Everybody in the trade starts a business because they're good at the job, but I had no idea how to run a company. I was just a very good gas engineer that had been on the tools for quite some time, so technically I was sound, but when it came to customer acquisition, lead generation, sales, understanding accounts, recruitment, I was, completely naive to what needed to be done. So I never did any traditional business education up until the point when I'd started my business. It wasn't until after starting that I realized I was playing a new game now and that my plumbing skills were useless if I didn't have any customers. So I went on this whole journey through my 20s to invest in personal development, coaching, mentors. By the time I was 29, I'd taken Improgas to the largest independent boiler installation company in the UK, doing 6,000 boiler installations a year, £1 million a month in sales, 100 staff operating in every major city in the UK. So from one man in a van at 22 to the largest independent boiler installation business in the UK by the time I was 29. I had this period when I exited the company where I reflected on my journey. I looked back and I said, how did you build such a big business and how did you have so much success? But also, why did you make so many mistakes as well at the same time? And what was clear to me was my success came from my personal development and education that I'd learned about business, and the mistakes came from not surrounding myself with the right mentors, coaches, and people that knew how to grow a home improvement business nationally very quickly. I looked at the trade sector and I thought, there's no one doing it in this marketplace. And so I came up with the idea of Trade Mastermind. That was back in 2020. So we've pioneered the business training space in the trade and construction sector, and I've since gone on in the last 4 years to build Trade Mastermind to a 8-figure, £10 million a year training business. We've trained many thousands of construction and trade and plumbing businesses across the UK, and we've helped many of them get to 7 figures and beyond. And what we do is teach tradespeople how to become business people by teaching them the foundational areas of business, from marketing, sales, operations, finance, recruitment, and so on and so forth. And it's been a smash hit, you know, because every business owner, they have the entrepreneurial spark and the ability to take a risk, but people just don't grow, or they grow and fail because they didn't realize the game that they were playing, which is they now need to learn about business if they want to be great at business. And they keep trying to grow their business with the same skills that they had when they were good at the job. So that was an interview with Heating and Ventilation, Plumbing Magazine, and we are just promoting our services at Trade Mastermind, a little bit about my background, why we started in the industry. So, you know, is a saying with PR is, can you afford to have a PR agent? Can you afford not to have a PR agent? A lot of these articles are, you know, they're gone and forgotten very quickly, but every now and then they get you noticed in something, and you just never know the opportunity off the back of it. So I'm just with the product development team, and we are redoing the Trade Mastermind offer for the Academy, and we're extending the course from a 1-year program to a 3-year program. This will do 2 things. It will give the customers more time to work on developing themselves as a business person, plus evolving their business model, rather than trying to cram it all into 12 months to get to the outcome. Plus, for us as a business, it will extend the lifetime value of a customer from day one, because at the moment a customer signs in and they graduate after 12 months. Well, we can still do the graduation dinner of passing year 1, but it's not going to be passing the course. And so we're extending it to 3 years rather than keeping it as a 1-year program. So it should take the average order value of a customer on TM from £30,000 a year to £90,000 over a 3-year period. So what you got?
So we were thinking something like this for the package deals for the Academy.
I like this. This is a good layout. So leave this now. Don't do anything by changing that words to expert to the master the content. Just so you can understand it from my side, so we can build in the right way moving forward. I think that pulling everybody together was the right move. I think that what it allowed me to see was the skill sets that we've got in the team. As we kind of had our meetings, and just over those couple of days, it was clear that we were all very disconnected from the sales performance upstairs and that day-to-day number. It's not just Alex if he doesn't achieve that bookings number, or the sales guys, it's the department as a whole. So the whole end-to-end function of how we get the marketing activity and, you know, actually pick out what marketing activity can influence the result on a day-by-day basis. What I want us to get out of the mindset of that the job, we're doing the best we can do, but we can't do any more to get the job done, because the job isn't done unless we get the job done, if that makes sense. Yeah? So what is that extra piece that we're missing out on look like?
From my perspective, it's lots of little micro things that add up to it. It's not one big thing. Obviously, Facebook is the most expensive. It brings in the bulk of the leads, so that's probably the biggest of the sort of strings that we can pull on. But I think it's about refining what we're doing. So it's about, for me, it would be about testing all the time, trying to improve on that benchmark. Absolutely, I do think we have to diversify into different platforms. YouTube used to be huge, especially in a global market. From a resource perspective, it's not just about reaching people through ads, but it is, like you said, a longer term strategy, which would be, you know, sort of podcasts, influencers, trade events, reaching people in different ways. I know that's long term, it's not what we're dealing with now.
The reason I've always pushed for the paid rather than the other stuff is because it's quantifiable, and I know that you can do all the other stuff that pays you in the longer term, but it doesn't solve our immediate lead generation issue. And the simplest thing we can quantify right now, is if we could spend more money and get the volume and maintain the conversion rate, then we can get the job done. That seems like the easiest, most measurable way of kind of creating a roadmap to getting to the outcome. So what do we need to do to get YouTube live now? So in the next 7 days we've got some data.
We'd have to just choose what assets we were going to launch. This are the videos. Send it through to Izzy's landing page forms. Make sure it's tracked. Make sure it's listed as a source. And that's it.
We've never really done YouTube. I think we've tried it and never been very successful at it. You know, I know a lot of people use it. It's massive in the coaching and development world, isn't it? But we don't use it, so probably that could be a big asset for us. At this moment in time, I want to get from what we can quantify, get them up, then move to this other longer term influencer piece and everything else. I think if we can get the quick platforms up that are quantifiable against the daily ad spend, and we try and get as close to this 500 bookings as possible, then that seems to be the short win while we work on the longer term strategy. Right, so it's been some time since I brought you up in the telesales department, and expansion has been on the cards now for the last 8 to 12 weeks. The team here have done a phenomenal job to recruit, to train, and to get people active and on the phones. The events are starting to really pick up. We're getting way more bums on seats. So the 6-figure investments that went in at the back end of 2024 are really starting to pay. Now, for those of you watching Unfinished Business for quite some time, you'll see the scope of this telesales operation has grown significantly. So this is just a temporary office that we've taken as we're having our other offices developed. So I'll give you a quick tour of the new team that we got upstairs. So we got about 20 agents in here now, smashing the phones. Loads of these guys are smashing it. I think this guy's number one in the department. Is that right? Is this guy number one in the department right now? Yeah, he was on the board when I came up earlier. So really, really great people. Okay, and yeah, looking forward to see each one of these guys smash it. But you know, when we got stand-up performers like Alex, yeah, it's really good to see. So I'm taking you behind the scenes in our new office development where we're going to be housing up to 100 new team members here at Trade Mastermind. This development's been going on now for the last 3 months, and move-in day is tomorrow. So fingers crossed we can meet the deadline. We've got people working here all night. Now we're going to go for a little tour and see what we've had done. Okay, so big moves are happening at Trade Mastermind, and our new office development is nearly done. This will house up to 100 new team members, and I'm going to take you on a tour. Now, it was time for us to modernize our offices. This business is now 4 years old, and we wanted to scale up, and we wanted to get the top talent that the city has to offer. So we have invested hundreds of thousands of pounds in this amazing new space, and we've gone all out. We're modernising. We've got glass walls, glass offices, new lighting, ceiling, flooring, everything you can possibly imagine to make this a badass development and investment for the team. These are all the little offices, all glass walls, looking really cool. But what I'm most excited about is creating an environment where it's open planned across the business. You know, usually we've had people in smaller offices working in different areas, and this is kind of phase 2, so they're still, you know, sorting the electrics out and everything else. We're doing this in 2 phases. But if you remember, this is where all of the telesales team used to sit. In fact, this space was once my first office in here. So telesales all used to be in here. Just look how different it is. Modern, light, and just looks super, super cool. So it's going to be a real game changer over the next few months as we roll this out. And I think it's going to be one of the most exciting places to work in Peterborough. The energy is going to be high. The team's going to be great. Real top performing stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it. And in business, it's all about growth. It's about making investments. It's about scaling up. And this is going to be a real momentous occasion as we look back over the years of Unfinished Business and the progress. We're now 77 episodes deep. And we're now 70 to 72 episodes deep. And a lot's changed, a lot's happened. And I'm excited for the next level of growth. Everything's looking phenomenal and fantastic. So stay tuned. And if you're looking for a role and you want to move to Peterborough, come and join our thriving organisation.